The DENR will revisit reclamation projects in the Manila Bay after the U.S. Embassy flagged one development involving a controversial Chinese company. Authorities have confirmed the fatal crash of a Cessna plane that recently went missing in Cagayan. And the coach that led the Philippine women's football team to its historic FIBA debut bids farewell. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. The United States is alarmed over reclamation projects in the Manila Bay that are linked to a Chinese company. The U.S. Embassy in Manila said that the Chinese communications construction company is on top of the developments and is also on America's entity list. The U.S. list includes companies being closely watched for helping Beijing's military to construct artificial islands in the disputed waters. The U.S. Embassy added that the company flagged has also been cited by the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank for alleged fraudulent business practices. The Chinese company has yet to comment on the embassy's statement. For its part, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources has vowed to look into the reclamation projects in and around the Manila Bay.
There are concerns not just expressed by the U.S. Embassy but by others as well, not just for the ecology of the possible impacts to the ecology, but also for the cultural and historical impacts of the changes that could take place given the history of Manila Bay. What the DNR is espousing and what we are about to do, we will be conducting a cumulative impact assessment of the reclamation projects as approved.
Still on the environment, the DENR is pushing for a whole-of-nation approach in resolving the country's problem with plastic waste. Environment Secretary Tony Yulo Loizaga noted that the Philippines generates so much garbage per day, many of which are shopping and thin film bags. Loizaga reiterated the importance of recycling and upcycling. The European Commission had earlier pledged $60 million to the Philippines as it transitions to a green economy.
Solid waste po natin. The Philippines generates about 61,000 metric tons of solid waste daily. Daily, no? About up to 24% of these is, of course, our plastic waste. Lahat po ng mga plastic yon, sinisikapan po natin that they will not reach our marine areas. We also manage the waste that is part of the generation of the products, particularly itong mga plastic waste po natin. We need a whole of society approach.
In other news, Phivolcs said that a phreatic explosion of the Bulusan volcano in Sorsogon is always a possibility. Speaking to us here on One News Now, Phivolcs Director Teresito Bacolod confirmed at least 8 volcanic earthquakes have been recorded in Mount Bulusan. Despite this, Bacolod says that raising the volcano's alert level is not likely at this time. Mount Bulusan is currently under alert level 0 or normal level.
When you say phreatic eruption, it's just hot material coming in contact with water. So the possibility is always there.
We have more stories for you after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're back on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Aboitiz Equity Ventures Incorporated and Coca-Cola Euro-Pacific Partners, or CCEP, want to jointly acquire Coca-Cola Beverages Philippines. The deal is worth $1.8 billion, or around 99 billion pesos. The plan to buy Coca-Cola Philippines will be under a 60-40 ownership structure between Aboitiz and CCEP. Aboitiz revealed that it has already signed a non-binding term sheet and is currently in advanced discussions with CCEP on the potential joint transaction. Once the definitive agreements are sealed, the joint venture is expected to close at the end of the fiscal year 2023. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Some 53 employees of the Bacolod City government have tested positive for illegal drugs. Mayor Albi Benitez said over 500 traffic enforcers and employees of the Public Order and Safety Office were randomly tested. The drug-positive employees have been suspended, while those on job order have been fired. They could face criminal charges for violating the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act. The Cessna 152 training aircraft that went missing yesterday in Cagayan has been found. 2 passengers died from the crash, and retrieval operations for the remains are ongoing off Luna in the province of Apayao. The plane took off from Lawag on Tuesday and was bound for Tuguegarao in Cagayan. Operations of the aircraft's owner, Eco Air, have already been suspended, while the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, or CAAP, will soon investigate the crash. The Budget Department has submitted to the House of Representatives the Marcos administration's 5.768 trillion peso budget for next year. This fund is supposedly 10% higher than this year's budget. Getting the lion's share of the national coffers for 2024 is the Education Department, with a proposed funding of almost 925 billion pesos. And in sports, Coach Alan Stich has bid adieu to the Philippine women's football team just 1 week after the Filipinas broke into global consciousness. Marty Bautista tells us why.
The mastermind behind the Philippine women's football team's historic FIFA Women's World Cup campaign will not return to the team. The Philippine Football Federation confirmed that coach Alan Stich has opted not to renew his contract as the national squad's chief tactician. The PFF said Stich and his assistant coach Nawel Ararte have both asked to explore other options for their next career move. Stich and Ararte's contracts with the team expired at the end of the World Cup. In his message, the Australian mentor thanked the team manager Jeff Cheng for the opportunity and trust to coach the national team. Stich also noted that the last 2 World Cup games against New Zealand and Norway were the best experiences of his coaching career. Despite losing handily to Norway in the last group stage game, Stich said hearing the chants for the Filipinas sent shivers down his spine. And even if he's out of the team, he will still follow the next chapters to the Filipinas' story. With Stich gone, PFF officials offered their gratitude and appreciation for making the Filipinas serious contenders. Stich was hired in October 2021. Since taking the helm, the team reached new heights, achieving milestone after milestone. Among those was reaching the semifinals of the AFC Asian Cup, which brought them to the World Cup.
Serena Bolden with a chance to make history, and she does. The Philippines through to the semi-finals and with it qualify for the World Cup.
He also steered the Filipinas to a SEA Games bronze in Vietnam, as well as the 2022 AFF Women's Championship held at home soil. And of course, the historic first goal and victory for the Philippines in the World Cup.
Retrieved again and lifted in for Bolden, who has scored the Philippines' first ever goal at a World Cup.
Up next for the Filipinas will be the Asian Games in China and the Olympic qualifying tournament in the coming months. For News 5, Marty Bautista, we are One News.
One News Now will be back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News. All sides, all the time.